Hey guys, welcome back to the Crypto Winter Survivor. On this channel I'm still reviewing all types of crypto projects, ones I like and ones I don't like. I have decided to scroll through coin market cap from 5 to 25 million market caps and just look for some small cap gem to invest in, and one of the first ones that got my attention was GoChain, or the Go token. GoChain offers blockchain for business. Basically, they offer blockchain solutions for logistics, sustainability, compliance, and insurance. They have a program called GoTrace, where you can basically, in short, put on a QR code on all types of products, including live lobsters, and you can track wherever they have been. Their blockchain works on proof of reputation, which basically means that they are going to give up to 50 companies the chance to run as a node on the network and basically cover all the security of the network. And their thought process of this is that a company, especially a big company, is not gonna do anything bad to the network because they will risk ruining their own reputation on it. And it's something that I'm not too sure if I agree with that thought process too much, because if we just look at the history of the world, there has definitely been situations where companies apparently didn't give a fuck about their reputation at all. So they gave Volkswagen as an example that there was some big issues with their CO2 stuff going on there. Don't know the details of it too much, but basically they said, they took a huge reputation hit, but I will have to see the statistics. I never heard anyone saying to me like, I'm never gonna buy a Volkswagen Golf anymore because of what happened there. So I'm not sure if this reputation issue is that big for all these companies. Anyway, they have a team of 10 members. I should note that their CEO that started the company is either not with them anymore or not in a CEO position anymore. So do what you would like with that, but it may not be a good sign if the CEO actually stops. Potential problems. Their proof of reputation system is, like I said, something that is at least interesting, but I'm not too sure if I'm a fan of it compared to proof of stake or all the other things that are out there. It just is a bit less decentralized and you give companies quite a bit of power, and I'm not too sure if I like that. The project is from 2018, which may be a bad sign as well, because basically if you have something that has the same going on for them that just started in 2020, you probably have a lot more hype going on for it. So plus, if this is gonna pump to any new highs, then you have the chance of early investors and all types of people dumping their stash on the newer investors. So there's the downside, but you have the downside with new projects as well, of course. But it may be a bit of a bigger issue with a project that is 3 years old. I will give them a 7 rating though for the project, because they do have a lot going on for them and they are still actively building, even though it is on the older side. It's not a project that completely went dead or anything like that. So, and they do offer some interesting stuff for enterprises, even though I personally am more interested in projects that offer solutions for all types of people instead of just for big companies. But we need this in the space as well. Market, well, like I said, it's blockchain for business. Yeah, the biggest market cap potential I would look at is VeChain. It's the biggest. GoChain is a challenger to VeChain mostly. It's very much doing the same types of things, and VeChain has a market cap of $1.5 billion, and yeah, I've put Ethereum there as well because on GoChain you can build your smart contracts and all types of stuff, but I don't really see GoChain as a big challenger to Ethereum, but I just put it in there just for funsies. And does it need a blockchain, which is kind of a question that only makes sense if it doesn't, and in this case it very much does need a blockchain. It's all blockchain tech, so yeah, I will give them a 7 for the market. It's not something that is too groundbreaking in my opinion, especially because there's a lot of other companies doing it, which we will come back to in the next slide. But it is something that could get blockchain more mainstream, and it is definitely a thing that blockchain is very useful for, so it's definitely not the worst. Competition, like I said, the biggest challenger is VeChain, but then there's definitely more players in the space that are doing this whole blockchain for business and this whole supply management stuff. So there is a lot of players in this space. Biggest differences with VeChain is, well, basically they have something called proof of authority, which basically means that I believe there is companies running nodes on VeChain as well, but I haven't looked in on VeChain too well. But at least as a normal person, you can also, if you have enough VeChain tokens, you can also run a node. So it does become a lot more decentralized in that way, in my opinion. So, you know, their idea was, yeah, if you just buy enough tokens, then you can mess up the whole project, and I guess that's true, but you know, with GoChain you can just be chosen as one of the companies and do the same. So, and then their idea is, yeah, well, no one will do that because of their reputation, but I'm not too sure if that's really true. So I do think I like their proof of authority a little bit better. VeChain also partnered with bigger companies. Basically all of it is bigger, but then again, like I said in the previous slide, you know, VeChain has a market cap of more than 100 times GoChain's, so it's very much maybe bigger without being a huge problem. VeChain also has a lot more following because that's also something that that's an advantage of this proof of authority over proof of reputation. If you run a node and you have a lot of money in VeChain, and especially I think you have to lock it up for certain amounts of time, and then you have a lot of incentive to actually go and spread the word about VeChain, either just to your friends or just, you know, I don't know, start a YouTube channel or whatever. Just try and pump the price basically, because it's for your own good. And of course you have investors in GoChain as well that may do the same, but there's less of an incentive because no one can actually run a node on GoChain, and these companies are probably not going to do it. But then again, more players can exist in this space. I mean, it's a worldwide thing, the whole supply management and all that. And also, of course, GoChain is not just doing that, it's also offering solutions for other types of companies, and there is so many companies in the world that eventually may use a blockchain that there's definitely a lot of money to be made for more than one player. So VeChain can be extremely successful while GoChain being extremely successful as well. So it's not that much of an issue that there is a lot of competition. However, I will give it a 5. I would give it a lower rating if it was really killing and there could only be one winner, which, like I said, I don't believe. But, you know, there is a lot of competition. Token economics, this is the part I got pretty happy about when seeing this, because I was looking at so many crap coins, and when I found something that was interesting to me, I saw a market cap of like 10 million or whatever, and you know, there was only 10% of the supply actually already on the market. So basically that means that the whole supply would count for 100 million market cap, which is not something I was looking for. You know, the inflation and all that, that's going to cost if it actually hits the market. The rest of the supply is going to be so insane that it's definitely not a good buy for me. However, with GoChain, you don't have that issue. Basically, their whole supply of 1 billion plus tokens is already circulating. They have a yearly inflation of less than 5%, which is good as well. I'm not even too sure if no inflation at all is necessarily optimal, because there are, you know, there are reasons that inflation could be okay, and as long as it's capped, and with GoChain it's very much capped. It was 50 million tokens in the first year when there was a billion supply, which means it was like 5%, but now it's started to get less. So I give them a 9 for the token economics, because it's basically the best I've seen in the space, or one of the best. And like I said, it's so hard to find projects that only have a 10 million market cap that already have all their tokens calculated towards this market cap. So you should always look at the token economics, because if you see a nice project that only has a 10 million market cap but only has 10% of their tokens, you know, you're actually investing in a 100 million market cap, and then you should compare it to other potentials, because, you know, like I said, we were looking at VeChain as a potential market cap of 1.5 billion, and if GoChain would be able to reach that, it's over 100x gain. But if GoChain only had 10% of their tokens in circulation and the same market cap, then it would only be a 10x gain. So, you know, these are easy calculations you can make, but just you have to look into it. Token utility, basically the token is used for transaction fees, voting and staking. Nothing too exciting to say about that. Nothing more, nothing less, really. Kind of makes sense for a blockchain to have these features for their token and not too much more, but you don't really need more. It's plenty of utility for the token to be valuable if the GoChain is being used. So I will give them a 7 for it, because there's no exciting little features that GoChain offers for token holders that other projects may offer. But then again, like I said, if GoChain as a project, as a network succeeds, then the value of the Go token is definitely going to go up. So it's definitely a decent utility, and I will give them a 7 for it. Marketing, they have a pretty decent website, GoChain.io. A lot of information on there. Go check it out. It's definitely, it's not the best I've seen, but it's definitely one of the better ones. They have 14,000 followers on their Twitter. They have 4,000 in their Telegram group, 700 on Reddit, 700 on YouTube. Nothing exciting there. They are, however, on Binance, but on YouTube they have little exposure, which is always one of the most important things I look at, because you can have Twitter followers, but these generally are already investing, or at least already interested in the project. And then if you actually have some YouTube or whatever platform influencers that talk a lot about your project, you can actually get some new people investing, or at least interested in your project. So that's something that they very much lack. I give them a 3 for their marketing, because yeah, just pretty horrible if you have so little exposure on YouTube. I did link a video where I believe CryptoCrow mentioned GoChain and was pretty bullish on it, but other than that I haven't seen much coverage on GoChain, and we can get that explained a little bit in the next slide with the price action, because if you look at the price action, it is it very much started in a bad time, I would say. Then again, it never reached any highs because any sick highs, because basically they started halfway 2018 and beginning 2018 the bear market started, so they very much didn't pick a very good time to get their project started. However, this shouldn't be a big issue. I mean, if they can just build their project, it doesn't really matter what the price is doing short term. And yeah, so on the left we have the lifetime graph. You can see it hit about 10 cents and then went very much down, and then on the yearly one we can see it bottomed out at half a cent and now it's back to about 1 cent. Yeah, nothing too exciting there. It's definitely not a nice graph to look at, and it is one of the projects that you should be careful with, because you don't want to be catching a falling knife, as they say, and this might be the case with GoChain. I personally believe that they are building enough stuff to actually get it going as a long-term project, and if they find the right companies to actually use their products and their network, then the price of GoChain, their token, is eventually going to go up as well. So I still believe that this project is pretty much a lot undervalued and not a falling knife, but I could obviously be proven wrong. So the overview, you can see all their ratings here: 7 for the project, 7 for the market, 5 for the competition, 9 for the economics of the token, 7 for the token utility, and a 3 for the marketing. And this all comes down to a 6.3 as a global rating, which I have a pretty much a golden rule. Whenever it's over a 6, I am at least considering investing in it. At least so far, looking back at the previous projects I've rated, this is very much true. It's somewhere in the middle of all the projects. Actually, it's right now exactly in the middle of all of the projects I've rated. It's very much a low cap gem in my opinion. However, it doesn't have the hype going for it. So if yeah, they should either do more on marketing, or their following should spread the word more, because right now there's a little bit too less hype for the project to reach any insane gains probably, but they are very much still building stuff and they have stuff that's already working, so which is pretty amazing for a project that is only rated 10 million or 12 million. Because if you look at all of the crypto space in general, I mean, there's so many projects that basically just have a white paper and a pretty face and are valued at 200 million or whatever. So I do believe GoChain is very much undervalued, sorry. And but yeah, like I said, it is a bit old, and maybe if no hype is ever gonna come into it, then we won't see any good gains on GoChain. Check out the show notes if you want to have some links to their white paper, their website, some of their social media and stuff like that. And like, comment and subscribe if you did enjoy the video. Let me know in the comments what you think about GoChain. Is it a falling knife, or is there any good future, and is it very much undervalued? And also let me know if you have a project of your own that you would like to be reviewed. And thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.